want to say a very special welcome to each and every one of you who are here this evening. Thank you for coming out. This is day one, week 9. Day 1, week 9 of our journey together, preparing for these national exams so we can be ready and so we can do well. So thank you all for coming out. Um, I want you to please send here or present to my WhatsApp chat. Again, please here or present to my WhatsApp chat. Please, to let me know that you're here. And I want you that as we are going through these exercises, the number one, write them down, right? Write them down and then write the solutions that is provided for you. Today is Monday, so that means that we're gonna have math and then English, all right? So let's begin. So we're gonna begin with this sets question. All right, and if we look at the sets question, we have this funny looking E, right? And what does this represent? What does this mean? This E.
Universal set?
The universal set. Very good, the universal set. And when we say the universal set, what that basically means is that this is all the numbers. This is all the numbers that we would be considering, right? Like we're not considering. So the universal set says positive numbers less than 30. So these are the numbers that we're considering and nothing else. All right. So the numbers that this is the restriction that we have. We only could think about, or we only could deal with positive numbers less than 30. At least that's what this question is telling us. So we're not looking at all the numbers in the world. We're looking at only a certain set, a certain kind, and that's the positive numbers less than 30. So bear that in mind as we approach this question. All right. Okay, so the next set, so let me just focus on one first. All right, so okay, so all right, so open. It's supposed to be math classes. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's go all the way down. Give me one moment. I'll put it right up. Okay. Okay, good. So this is the number that this is the question that we're considering. Like I said, the E represents, or E stands for the universal set. L is positive multiples of 2 less than 30. And M is positive multiples of 3 less than 30. And N is positive multiples of 5 less than 30. All right. So the question states the following: list the elements of L. Now remember, we have to consider the universal set. We cannot go outside the universal set. All right. And so the universal set says positive multiples. What I want to do first, right, even before we consider L, let's just, and I think this is going to be very helpful for us, let us list out the elements inside the universal set. So let's do that. They didn't ask us to do it, but I think that is helpful in doing these things. So what would be the elements of the universal set?
2.
Say it again.
2. 1. Oh, 1. Yeah, 1.
Yeah.
Wait, 1. Positive.
Okay, positive. Is 1 positive?
No, sir.
1 is not positive?
Yes, it is. Oh, like that. Oh, no.
Yeah, one is not prime, but one is positive though. Right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so,
Okay, good. So in our universal set, we're gonna have. Sorry, let me allow this person to come in. In our universal set, we're gonna have the following numbers. It's all the positive numbers that are less than 30. So it's gonna be 1, right? 2, 3. Notice that I didn't start at 0. Why did I start at 0?
because zeros are like a whole number.
0 is
Yes,
0 is a whole number, but is 0 positive?
because positive.
Say it again.
I say because it's not a positive number.
Very good. 0 is not positive. So since 0 is not positive, we can't use 0. Why didn't I start at -1?
That's not
Because
positive.
it's positive. It's not a
Good.
positive.
Because
Not a positive number.
it's negative, so we can't use that. So we have to start at 1, 2, 3. Then we gotta go to 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Do we stop at 10?
No, sure.
Why not?
Because it's less than 30.
Say less than 30. Good. So 11 would be included. All right. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. This is still a part of the universal set, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What's your 29?
27, 28, 29, and 30. Do we include 30?
No, sir.
Why don't we include 30?
Let's say
Anything
less
less
than
than 30.
30.
Yeah, say less than 30. Very good. Not included 30, so we can't include 30. And so we have to move that. And so it's going to be this. Okay, so those are the elements that are part of the universal set. Now, so that's the universal set right there. Now we want L. Okay, so L is going to be all of the positive multiples of 2. Okay, and so what would that be if you're trying to do L?
2.
Say it again.
2. 2. 4, 6. 2, 4, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16,
Very good.
18, 20, 22, 24, 26, and 28.
Very good. Okay, so let's do this. So let's go back in. So let's list them off. So L. Let me put this in. So let's see who's asking to join now. Angela Papanan, very good. Okay. So let's put this here. For those who are just joining us, please place here or present inside the chat box, please. Not inside my WhatsApp chat. So L is gonna be equal to L equals remember curly brackets. Remember to please put your curly brackets.
Mr. Petit,
Yes, ma'am.
What if I just put like out of L and come and then under that I put the curly brackets and the numbers? That's still right, or I have to put equal.
L equals. You have to put L equals. But you try, yeah, you have to do it. You can't do it no other way. So L equals what? 2,
2,
4,
4,
6,
6,
8,
10,
10, 12,
12.
14, 16, 18, 20. So we counting in what? We counting in
Twos.
twos. Very good. So 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, right?
No.
No.
Stop to 28.
Stop at 28. Why you stopped at 28?
Say less than 30.
This is less than
Less than
30.
30. Very good. And also, even if they didn't say less than 30, you know that in your universal set, we don't go up to 30. So you
Yes, sir.
only are allowed to use the ones that are in the universal set. Okay, so better than 9. So 30 is not a part of our universal set, so we can't use 30. So this is our answer for this one. Okay, we understand that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Very good.
Yes, sir.
Let me put that in red. Good. So that's the first one. I list the elements of L. Okay, next up is they ask us to list the elements of M. Okay.
Mr. Badi,
Yes,
Good day,
sir.
Mr.
can you go back on the slide, please?
Yeah, I can right back. These are the presentations that the students did. They did this one on monohybrid inheritance. Did a good job. Let me X these
What
things.
is that?
This one is on homostasis, and this one is on mitosis, cell division. Just trying to X them out. Okay.
It sounds like y'all had a great time, a fun time.
Yeah, they did. They did well. And okay, good. Okay, so let me move this. All right. Good. So we want the elements in M. Now you need to remember that the elements in M is going to be positive multiples of 3 less than 30. So this time, instead of counting in twos, we be counting in what?
Threes.
Threes. Very good. We counting in threes. So let me grab this. So this is going to be M. Please make sure that you write ensure that you write down the curly brackets. All right, and make sure that you have all the numbers listed. So it's gonna be, so let me see if y'all know your 3 timetables. Let's go.
3, 6, 9,
You're looking at the back.
12,
You're looking at the back of the
15,
book.
18, 21,
You're looking at the back of
24.
your book.
No, I'm looking at the back of the book.
Yes, you are.
What's the date? Who don't know the timetables?
Oh, okay.
33,
Okay, you'll be fine.
36.
All right, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15,
Oh
18,
no.
21, 24, 27. Are we done?
Yes, sir.
Good. Very good. So those are the elements of M. It asks us for what? Positive multiples of 3 less than 30. So we can include 30, even though 30 is a multiple of 3, but we have to only include these ones: 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, and 27. Okay, that's that.
Good night. Is this the first question of the night?
Yes, mom, it's the first question of the night.
All right.
And then N, right? The set N. Now we want to list the elements of the set N. So N, if we look at N is positive multiples of 5 less than 30. So in that case, we'll be counting in what?
Fives.
Fives. Good.
Multiples of
So that'll
5.
be
5.
Miss Cooper, ready to go. You ready to go? You ready to go? That's good. All right. So multiples of 5 is going to be what?
5.
10, 15,
20 and 25.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So it shows that you need to know your multiplication tables if you don't know it already. All right, know your multiplication tables. It's very important, very fundamental. So with these ones, we answered the first three. So we listed the multiples of L, M, and N. Notice that I place my curly brackets in each one. All right, that's very important. Because they ask you for the set. All right.
Hey, good day, Mr. Petit. I have a question.
Go ahead.
Why you stop at 21 at positive numbers less than 30?
21. I stop at 21.
Continue to the bottom.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, 22, 23. Yeah. Yeah, that's the universal set. I didn't have enough space to continue on the top. So I just continue there. So this here is not for L. Okay. This is just a continuation of the entire thing. So from 1 to 29. Okay, so that's straightforward. All right, so I want you to send me what you have so far, and then we'll do number 4 and number 5. So send me what you have. I want to see what you've written.
Can you go back to the question answer, please?
Sure, no problem. So take a picture of what you have and send it to me, please. I want to see what you have already. Thank you, Dylan. Make sure I write what is above. Okay, Dylan? Make sure I write what is above. So you need to write E, L, M, and N for this question. Don't just write the answer. Also, it is not a bracket, right? It is not. I'm glad that this was said. It is not a bracket or parentheses. It's not that. So if you have that, please correct it. It is curly brackets. So it's something like this, right? No parentheses. So please make sure that is also corrected. Okay. And for those who are sending me their work, make sure you have everything written down, including these things above here. All right. They are what's going to help you to answer the question. So thank you, Dylan. Thank you, Miss Cooper. I don't know, Miss Cooper, what got into you today? Yeah, your handwriting is neat.
It is?
It is. Thank you, Miss very good, Miss Reckley. Okay. And thank you, Dior. Very good. Okay, so next up is number 4. And number 4, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make a duplicate of this. And then, okay, so number 4, what we need is make a crop this. They're asking us for, can someone read this for me? How would we read it?
Ellen.
Very good. L intersect N. Okay. So if we want L intersect N, what would that be?
the numbers that L and N have in common.
Very good. The numbers that L and M have in common. So let's first list off what L is. So we know that L is the positive multiples of 2, and then N is the positive multiples of 5. And so the question is, where do these two, what values these two have in common? All right.
10 and 20. 10 and 20.
Very good. So if we look carefully, let me highlight it with, say, green. If you look carefully, you see that this and this go together, right? These two go together. And 20, this and this are common, right? And so that's how you find the intersection. And so that means that L intersect N is going to be equal to curly brackets 10 and 20. All right, so we good?
Yes, so.
All right. All right, so the fifth question. So a lot of people haven't been sending me their notes. I only got it from a few of you. Thank you, Harry.
Still right.
Okay. Thank you, Daniela Rowell. Miss Rowell. And thank you, Thalia. Right? I mean, wow. This year reminds me so much of Abigail. Very highlighting and very neat. Thank you, Thalia. The rest of you, if you haven't sent your notes yet, please make an effort to send them, please, so I can see what's happening. Correct anything that needs to be corrected. All right. So the next question is, interesting, number 5. Can anyone, thank you, Ricardo. Can anyone read number 5?
M
Complement intersect N.
Wow, y'all sound so smart. Very good. Very good. M complement intersect N. Okay, M complement intersect N. Now, when we say M complement, what do we mean? M complement.
And don't include the numbers inside M.
Don't include it. Okay, don't include the numbers inside M, but include what?
and
No. When we say M complement, what do we mean? Don't include the numbers in M, but include what?
And only.
And everything else
But include everything else where? Everything
In
else. No.
that doesn't have N inside of it, that doesn't intersect with N off.
No.
Includes N.
Include everything else where? Where would the everything else be?
In the whole set.
What?
In the section?
Not an intersection.
In the subset,
No.
that
Go ahead.
In universal set.
In the universal set. Very good. So you do not include the elements in M, but you include everything else that is inside the universal set. So that is what M complement means. So what we're gonna do is I'm going to write the universal set again. So I think the universal set is epsilon. That's the letter they use. So let's use the Greek letters. Yes, sir. I think someone was saying something.
So this thing though.
Yes, sir.
I was gonna ask you, this isn't question related, but have we ever like did BJC 2016 paper 2?
2016 paper 2.
Yes, sir.
Have we ever did that? I'm not sure, but that's interestingly, we have to be doing that this week. I know for sure we're doing that this week. But I don't know if we have done it before. That's a good question. I don't know if we have done it before. Why?
I was just curious, you know.
You have some homework on that.
No, I have like quiz on that
When you have the quiz.
It's even worse.
tomorrow.
Ah! 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Okay, Lionel, what we could do is we haven't finished 2017 paper 2 yet. That's what we're just gonna continue. But for your sake, I'm gonna do some questions out of 2016 instead then. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Okay. So we know that this is the universal set, isn't it? We saw earlier, right?
Yes, so
This is the universal set. How? Why do we know this is universal set? Because,
all positive numbers less than 30.
yes, they told us that the universal set is all positive numbers less than 30. That's what we saw earlier and we listed already, right? Now, that's the universal set. All of this. So numbers from 1 to 29. Now, we know what M is. We saw M earlier. M would be all the multiples of 3, right? Right?
Yes, sir.
Good. So if we want M complement is going to be everything inside the universal set except the members of M. Okay? Again, M complement is going to be everything inside the universal set except everything inside the universal set, the one in red, everything in L, except the ones in M. And so let's start crossing them out. What are we going to cross out?
3,
3. What else?
3, 6,
6,
9,
9,
12,
12.
15,
I even missed out 15. Okay, so let me discard. I missed out 15. Okay, so let's do it again. So it's going to be, we do not include 3, 6, 9, 12, 15,
18,
18,
21,
21,
24,
24,
27.
and 27. Okay? Everything else we include for M complement. We just don't include the members of M. And so it's going to be, I don't like how this is showing. Give me one moment. This is supposed to be, if we extend this, come on, E. Good.
Facilitate.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
You have to rewrite it again, or you could just like look back into.
I just did it so you can understand. But if you understand it, you don't have to do it like this. So it's going to be 1, 2, 4, 5. No, we do not include 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 13, 14, 16, 17, 19, 20, 22, 23, 25. Oh, wow. Yikes. 25, 26, 28, and 29. Okay, so that's M complement, right? Now, what is N? When we saw N before? N is
It is 5, 10, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25.
good. So N is 5, 10, because that's positive multiples of what?
Positive multiples of 5 less than 30.
Very good. Positive multiples of 5 less than 30. So 5, 10, excuse me, 15, 20, and 25. And so what we have to do is we have to look at M complement, and we have to look at N and find the numbers that are what?
Less than 30.
No, that are what? They say intersection, right?
Both.
In intersection in both.
Yeah, very good.
Both.
That are common in both. So what are the numbers?
5,
5, certainly.
10,
5, 10, 20,
5,
and 25.
10,
5, 10, 25.
and 20, and 25. Sorry for this looking. So 5, 10, 20, and 25 is going to be equal to 5, 10, 20, and 25. We understand how we got this? We understand how we got M
last
second.
one.
So, can you run over it one more time, please?
Okay, so the first thing we did was we list out what was M complement. Remember, M complement is everything inside the universal set except what's inside M. So we do not include 3, we do not include 6 and 9 because they are a part of M. We do not include 12, we do not include 15, we do not include 18, we do not include 21, we don't include 24, and we don't include 27. That's for M complement. Now once we get M complement, then we have to figure out what N is. We know what N is. N is positive multiples of 5 based on the question. So N is positive multiples of 5. So that's going to be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. All right? Good.
Yes, sir.
Once we already find these two sets, that's so the first thing is to figure out what are these two sets. Once you find what is M complement and what is N, then you need to find out what is the intersection between them. So it's going to be what is common in both. So we know 5 is common in both, 10 is common in both, 20 is common in both, and 25 is common in both. So it's 5, 10, 20, and 25.
Yes, over to you.
Go ahead.
Why did you use a universal set like if it wasn't stated in the question? I just want to know.
Remember, the universal set. Okay, let's go back to the question. You see the universal set, right?
Yes, sir.
So that's given to us. That is our, what we call that, we'd say that's like your domain, right? That's the only values that you're going to be considering, right? So when we say M complement, we say that M complement is all the members that is not in M. Okay, if they're not in M, so where are we gonna get them? Like where the rest gonna be? So if we just say that M complement is all the members or all the elements we just say that it's just all the members that are not in M. That means that we're just not including 3, 6, 9, 12, or whatever. But the question is, what else are we including? Are we starting from -1, -2, -3, -4, -5? Do we include +40, +50, +45? The answer is no. And the reason why is because it's not a part of our universal set to begin with. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, I understand.
So we need the universal set to give us the domain, to give us the restriction, to give us the criteria of the numbers that we are considering. So when we say M complement by definition means it cannot be members that are in M, but the rest of them we got to get from the universal set. So it's just like if we had the 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 box, right? And we had the three sets going on now. So I say this is M, this is N, and this is what's the other one? M, N, and what's the other one?
L.
L, right? And so if we're not including M, the rest of the number is gonna be some gonna be on the outside, say 4, 5. I'm just saying 6. Some gonna be in here, 7, 8, 9, whatever. But if we're not including the elements of M, the rest of them gotta be a part of what? The box or the universal set. So that's why we have to include the universal set. That's why we dealing with the universal set, even though it don't say it outrightly use it, but we know we have to use it when we considering our sets question. I hope that helps to answer your question, Nancy.
Yes, I did. I just forgot what the complement. I know how to use, but I just didn't really understand the meaning. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, again, the complement means the elements that are not inside. So M complement means the elements that are not inside M, but inside the universal set. Maybe I should write that down somewhere. So, and I think that's very important for us. So M complement. Someone's trying to. Okay, welcome to those who are joining. So M complement means M complement means do not include elements in M, in the set M, but all other elements in the universal set, very important, in the universal set can be included, or I should say should be included. So you do not include members of M, but anything else in the universal set you should include. Okay, so please send me the notes for what we have thus far. We did 1 through 5 already. So send me in the notes for them.
Mr. Boutique,
Yes, mom.
I have to send every picture because that's I didn't know the storage came out.
Delete some pictures that you already sent me.
Okay.
All right. All right. So the second.
2 more minutes. 2 more minutes.
Say it again.
2 more minutes.
2 more minutes. 2 more minutes. Okay. All right. So the same person's sending me the photos. How about the rest of you all? I really don't have the point show. Please send in the notes for me, please. All right. All right. So let's continue on. Can I move, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. So B is where things just get interesting, right? But if you know your set notation, you'll be able to handle B, right? We've been doing set notation from forever in this class. If there's one subject that we have covered a lot, is sets. So hopefully you remember set notation and you're able to tell me what this means.
It's the number of elements in L union N.
Very good. Very good. So it is the number of elements that are in L union N. Now, the thing about these questions is that you have to first determine what is in L union N. Like, what is that? Like, first figure out what is L union N, and then once you finish figure out what is in L union N, then you have to count how much elements that are in there, and then provide them with the number. So here we don't want no set note, we don't want no curly brackets answer. We want the number, we want the value. How much elements are inside L union N? All right, so that's the idea. All right, so with that being said, let us.
Is it 20?
20? I'm not sure. I mean, I don't just not like know to my head. Like I have to work it out. So let's see. So he said 20. So let's see. So L, U. So we have the first figure. So we first list out our elements from L. They say L union N. Okay, and then list out the elements from N. So good. When we say union, what do we mean?
Everything.
In both?
Everything and both combined, right?
Yeah, sure.
But there's another thing about union.
Can't repeat.
You cannot repeat. Okay, cannot repeat the numbers. So everything in them combined, but you cannot repeat the numbers. No repeats, right? So L
17.
17. I think 17 sounds right.
It's 19.
It's 19. Yeah, I think 19 sounds right. The reason, sorry, that might sound weird, right? But it was when the last time I did this with the students, it sounded something like that. It was in the teens, so that's why. All right, so let's see. So we definitely want to have, and we try to do it as much as possible. We try to do it in order. So I think someone is trying to come in. Destiny. So we try to do it in order as much as we can. So if we're doing this in order, the first number is going to be what?
L.
The first number that's going to be the first number.
Oh.
So remember, we have to include all this because that's what L union N is. All these numbers, both in L and M and N, but we do not repeat any number. So definitely 2, right? And what's the next number?
4.
Notice how I put intersection. It's not intersection, it's union, right? Not intersection. Union. So 2, what else? 4, what else? What else?
6, 8,
6,
Yeah.
8.
After 2 is what?
5, 6.
6.
After 2
7.
is not 6.
5,
5, thank you.
Oh, 5.
Yeah. And then
6,
6. Then what?
8,
Then 8. Then after 8 is
10,
then after 10 is
12,
12. After 12 is
14.
14.
15.
15.
16.
16.
18.
18.
20.
20.
22. 24.
24.
25.
25.
26 and 28.
26 and 28. Good. So what we did here is we included everything in both sets, didn't we? So everything in L and everything in M and in N, sorry, but we do not repeat any. Okay. So now we know what is L union N. We know it's L union N, but now we want the number. That's that little N in there. We want the number of elements in it. So that means we have to count. Right? We have to count. Someone mic is on. Please, if you're not, that's you, Miss Cooper?
That was Nancy.
Oh, that's Nancy. Okay. Alright. So open bracket L. So now we want the number of elements in L union N. Alright. And so we do not want any curly brackets. It's a number. Okay, so no curly brackets here. So we have the count. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
It was good.
So it's 17. So, all right, good. So the answer is 17. N, L, the number of elements in L union N is 17. Are we clear on that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, so.
Good. So quick question, what is intersection?
The middle part.
The numbers in both.
Yes, the numbers in both are the middle part. What is union?
All. Wait.
Everything in elements.
Yeah.
Union is everything and all without repeating.
Without repeating, very good. So 17.
So, Mrs. T, why 19? This sounds so right to you.
Because it was in the teens, so it's either, I know it just, I can't remember exactly, but They know it's in the teens, like that's how the feeling is. I think it's because
17 in the teens.
yeah, I know. That's why when you said, I said yeah, that sounds right. I just couldn't remember the number. We did this in class before, but I couldn't remember the number. Okay. Not in this class. Not in this class. I mean, class at school.
Like,
All right. All right. So this is perfect time to take attendance. Um. Okay. All right. Okay. So let's move forward. Any questions on this before I move?
No, sir.
No. Okay. No problem. All right. So. All right. Let's go. The last question for this. This is whole. How much points? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Look at that. 8 points. So if you don't know set notation, if you don't know those things, you lose whole 8 points. So you know that if it's anything you study, and if it's anything you know set notation and know how to do those questions. They just love to bring them. They're addicted to them questions.
so much points.
And so much points, right? Yeah. When they come, they always come heavy. Okay, so describe the elements in the set L intersect M in the similar manner as the descriptions given for the sets L, M, and N. So we have to figure out what is L intersect M. So what is L intersect M in words? How do we see that?
L intersect M would be the numbers N and L and M
Finish it.
without repeating.
No, L intersect.
Oh,
Intersect, yeah.
Is that
numbers. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. L intersect M is what?
The numbers that L and M share or have in common.
Yes. Because here it's an intersection. So the figure out what is the intersection between them. So what are numbers that are common in both L and M?
6, 12,
6,
12, 24, 18, and 24.
24.
and 24. Good. So L intersect M equals what? It's going to be equal to 6, 12, 18, and 24. Now, if you read the question, they said describe. That's the thing. They say describe. They didn't use the word list. Okay? If they used the word list, then we this could have been our answer. But they say describe. So that means we have to use some words. So describe the set L intersect M in a similar manner as the descriptions given for the sets L, M, and N. So much, Michael.
That's multiples of
I have a description for that.
Okay, go ahead, Miss Odisha. You see you have a description.
I was gonna say positive multiples of 6
Mm,
less than 30, like
very
that.
good. Very good. That's exactly what they're saying. Because remember how they gave it to us? They said L, M, and N is going to be what? Positive multiples of 2 less than 30, positive multiples of 3 less than 30, positive multiples of 5 less than 30. So the next natural one We already have 2, 3, and 5. So the next one is going to be what? 6. Because they say, if we look here, it says, excuse me, we have 6, 12, 18, and 24. Are we not counting in sixes?
So,
So, but we do not include 30. So this is definitely going to be positive multiples of 6 less than 30. So the answer here, let's write it down properly. So L union or intersection, sorry, L intersect rather M. If we were to write that in set notation, sorry, we would write it in a similar manner as they gave it us before in L, M, and N. It's going to be what? Positive multiples
of 6 less than 30.
Alicia, how you figure that out?
Because I was looking at say 6, 12, 18. So I was like, oh, this the multiples of 6. Just how that the rest is the multiples of 2, 3, and 5. So this one is a multiple of 6.
Very good. Very good.
But you don't have to like add the intersection, like how it have L, like L intersect M.
You
You don't
mean
have to write the description.
for the answer?
I would say this. Oh, I see it. I'm like, my bad.
Oh, you see it. Okay. All right, good. So the answer is positive multiples of 6 less than 30. So we finished that section. We finished all the sets questions for that. That was...
I have a question.
Go ahead.
When is it necessary to use the curly brackets?
Okay, it's necessary to use the curly brackets when you are listing elements. Okay? Either when you are listing elements or when you are describing a set. So here we are describing a set. So we use curly brackets to describe it. And if we look at these ones, we use listing the elements of a set. So we have to use curly brackets. The only time you would not use curly brackets is when they ask you for, say, in this case, where they ask us for the number of elements inside of it, then we cannot use curly brackets. In fact, that is very wrong to use curly brackets for, say, if we were to say, okay, if we were to put it here, that's going to be absolutely wrong. We don't use curly brackets when they ask you for the number. But any other time, we are either describing the elements of a set or listing the elements of a set, you use the curly brackets.
Okay, thanks.
No problem.
Thank you.
Okay, so someone's asking me to go back to B. So here I am back at B. Hopefully that helps them with what they needed. Alright, so please send in the notes for the rest of these, for all of them, if you haven't sent it already. 1 through 5, please. So this is C. 1 through 5 and also B and C, sorry. Okay. So how is these questions? Easy, difficult, familiar, unfamiliar?
Familiar.
Familiar.
Okay, that's good.
Familiar.
But as we know, it's a bunch of them that they ask, so be prepared for that. Now Lionel asks for us to revise some 20. He's gonna go here because we did the store, the headquarters and thing. We did that, and we also did We didn't. We was about to do this one. Question number 8. But Lionel asked us to go over 2016 paper 2. And so we're gonna look at some questions at these. Okay, so these should be familiar to us. I hope they are. Okay. Okay, so I think we should be. Where's Lionel? We need to be here if we're going over this. Lionel, are you here? No? Wasn't just any asked? Say it again?
He ain't had a day. Yo, he's still wise because we can't come today. He seems to be able to come tomorrow.
Lionel is literally in this class. He's the one who asked for 2016 paper. He said y'all have a test tomorrow.
He in the class right now. He here, but he just.
Wait, what?
Jeez.
Lionel, what was you talking about, boy?
Lionel is right here. There he is. He said y'all have a test tomorrow based on this paper. Anyway, let's go over it quickly. Like, why do you wanted them to be? Anyway, what I could do, I could continue on what we're supposed to be doing, and then whenever he comes back, because he probably stepped out. Whenever he comes back, then we'll do some questions from now on. Okay, so that's what 2019. No, this here. No, this one. Good. So let's go. Let's do question number 8 from here. Okay, so last class we ended on question number 9. Not ended totally, but ended this particular paper on question number 9, dealing with the different stores and their coordinates and stuff like that. Now we're gonna move on to question number 8, which is probability. Ah, boy, I love it. Now remember, I want to see if y'all remember this, because I definitely taught you all this. Sure. See if you remember. You gotta be studying, so let's see. It says, complete the statement using 0, a half, or 1 to make the statement true. If an event is impossible, its probability is what?
0.
0.
0.
0.
Good. Remember.
0.
0. So 0 is the probability of an impossible event. Good. 0. A probability can be no greater than
1.
1.
1.
right? It can be no greater than 1. 1 means that it is certain, right? It is 100% true that it will happen. So probabilities always are between 0 and 1, where 0 is the probability that something is impossible. Oh, sorry, 0 is that an event is impossible, and then 1 is an event is certain. You cannot have a probability that is a negative, so it can't be lower than 0, and it can't be greater than 1. Probabilities are always between 0 and 1. When flipping a coin, the probability of heads is what?
A half.
Half. Because you have two sides, a head and a tail. You can either get a head or a tail. There are two sides, so that becomes your denominator. And because there's only one head, that becomes your numerator. So it's 1/2 or a half. Alright? Good. You all did pretty well in this one.
Let's see, that's what you want to see if you remember?
Yes, I wanted to see if I remember what is probability of 0. Sorry, what does probability of 0 means? What the probability 1 means? What does it mean to get a probability of a half? That is 50% likely. Stuff like that. So they remembered. That's good.
I finished writing.
You finish writing? Okay, so
Yeah.
let me allow y'all to finish write that down. I can't wait till we get to English.
I know you can't wait to finish this.
I can't wait till we get to English. Why? I've been thinking about that since class ended.
From why we had this one, and I say, "Oh, class can be funny tonight."
Yeah. Boy. We're gonna see. I didn't. That's the thing. I wanted to read it before class, just to see what was up, and that's how interested I was in it. But I don't know, for some reason I just didn't get to it. And so I'm actually excited to see what is the next part of that. Like what was the rebuttal? What was the
That was interesting.
Yeah, it really was.
The two sides and all that.
Yeah. Okay.
What's about 14?
Yes, ma'am.
We got draw this diagram.
Definitely. We always try to draw diagrams. The good thing is that this is not at least it's in a time graph. Alright.
I hope this belong.
Yeah. It says the pie chart below illustrates the colors of the socks being worn by 30 students. So we have a certain amount wearing blue. 15% of these 30 students wear black. 30% of these 30 students wear green. 20% of these 30 students wear white. I wonder what school this is. They're black, green, white, blue.
All of them suspended.
All suspended,
right?
Maybe it's PE. I mean, maybe it's PE and they get allowed to wear the green socks.
I think it like well, clowns of them different colors.
Now, what percentage of students wore blue socks? What is easy? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do?
Add them in.
We're gonna add them.
Add them together.
Add them and then do what?
Subtract it.
Subtracted by what?
From 100. From 100.
100.
Very good. Because the idea is that when we add up the percentages, it should be what?
100.
100.
Okay. Now don't get confused with this saying we have to add it up and equal 360, right? This is not degrees. We talk about percentages, right? And so when we add them up, they should be equal to 100%. Okay. And so if we want to figure out what is blue, what we have to do is we have to add black with green with white and then subtract it from 100. So let's do that. So percentage of blue so percentage of students who wore blue socks equal. Someone mic is still on. Who was that? It's going to be equal to 100% minus subtract 100% from bracket 15% plus 30% plus.
I get my answer.
John says, Miss Hastiny.
I get 35.
So,
Say it again.
my answer.
I get 30.
Say it again.
Mom, it's okay. I get 34%.
So 34%. So we know that it's going to be equal to. Let me put this one back up down. It's going to be equal to 100. When you add them all together, what do you get?
65.
65.
65. So again, this is. So we have 30 plus. Sorry, 15 rather. 15 plus 30 plus 20, 65. It's going to be equal to 100 minus 65.
No, so
It's 35%.
35.
So blue socks is going to be, the percent of students who wore blue socks is 35%. And that is the majority, right?
Huge majority.
So most of them wore blue socks. Okay.
how do you get 35?
How I get 35? I subtract 165 to get 35.
You borrow from the 10, make that a 9, and make the 0 a 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, good. So next up is going to be which which color sock is the most popular?
Blue.
Blue.
Blue socks.
Anyone that has wear blue socks for school?
St. Anne's, yeah.
No, sir.
All right. Blue socks. Interesting. So only blue, or like you could wear blue, black, and white.
Blue, navy blue to be specific. Navy blue, or black.
Navy blue or black. Okay. Nothing but black, boy. You can't go wrong with black.
I'll be teacher walk.
Okay, so which color sock is the most popular? Definitely blue, because blue is 35%, and that's greater than 15, and that's greater than 30, and that's greater than 30. That's greater than 20. Again, it's blue because, and you can even look at it. Blue
Yeah, the
has more.
sciences.
Yeah, the space is more than, it's like a big, it's almost like saying which, if this was a pie or this is a pizza, which part would you want to take? Right? If you want to take the biggest slice, you definitely take this one. So because blue is biggest. So
So if you get a lower answer than all of them, then you wouldn't know the answer is wrong, because blue bigger than everything else.
yeah, that's true. Very good observation, Ms. Cooper. It's gonna be 35%. Why don't I just put it in blue, since it's blue, right?
Yeah.
I know. That's stupid.
That's like one of them things that say what color it is. The writing blue on it says and it color.
Yeah. Good. All right. That's much better. Good. Next up. So the color sock that's most popular is definitely the blue sock. I went to city battle, so you could wear blue socks. But I remember. I think I typically wore black. If I
I just wear white or green. For PE, I just wear black or sometimes white. More colorful socks. That's fine.
But I know you don't follow the rules.
I do, but just that's the time see they be mad, so I put on any color socks.
All right. How many students wore white socks? How many students wore white socks? So you have to look at the chart. White, white, white. How many students wore white socks?
Why didn't they ask the percent of students who wear?
Yeah, because they want you to figure out what is the number of students. They don't want you to. They already give you what is the. They want to figure. They want you to figure out how many. They already give you the percentage. So how do we do that? Anyone know? Figure out how many students.
20 over 30 times 100.
No.
I don't know.
No. How many students wore white socks?
You.
Dior, Nancy, Joanne.
How much people together?
20 over 100 times 30.
Very good. Very good. So what she's saying is that, remember, it's 20% of what?
100.
No, 20% of
30.
Of 30.
30.
Good, 20% of 30. Of the 30 students, right? Because we know there's 30 students in the class. So if we're trying to figure out 20% of 30, what would we do? We know that of means what?
Multiply.
Multiply.
And we know that 20% can be written as 20 over what?
100.
Over 100. Okay. Multiply by 30 over 1.
So what did you call my name earlier?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out. I was trying to allow you to. I was giving you opportunity to answer this question.
Oh,
But
sorry.
yeah, I know Netflix is more interesting. So that's fine. So 0.
As I exit the mental.
All right, 20 over 10. We left with 20 over 10. Times 3 for 1. All right, so then you gotta
60.
cancel. This goes with that. It's gonna be equal to 2 over 1 times 3 over 1, which is what?
6 over 1.
6 over 1.
6 over 1.
So it's 6.
Equal to 6.
Yes. It's 6.
So how many students wore white socks?
6. 6 students.
White socks get dirty so fast, you wouldn't know what happened.
That's why he remembered.
Especially at PE.
Yeah. Anyone like the brand with their socks?
No, but I don't fall like
I was so I did it once.
Oh, okay, I like the brand with their socks. So
I rather take off my socks.
I just feel like the shoe is too heavy. They slow me down.
What if you slip down?
I agree with you.
I mean, it depends on where I'm running. Like if it's a rocky area, then you got
I'll get the grass.
It's the grass, and it's just the socks still is be slippery, but at least it's not giving me no weight.
I'll take off my socks. Or just one of my shoes.
Mr. Badi,
Yes, sir.
can you go back on the first question, please, and take a picture?
Okay, go out. You mean this?
Yeah, the first question.
This one you asking, or I should go back?
Go back to the first one.
The probability one?
No, the CRE. I ain't write down the question, please.
You can take a picture of it, because we passed this.
No, the question ain't showing.
The question ain't showing? Oh, I think I understand what you're saying. This is the question, though. Oh. Like.
So it's the number of students who are
No
blue.
students. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. That's interesting. I didn't show that. Sorry. What percentage of students who are blue socks?
Who you right there?
Oh, okay. See what you're saying.
I have it.
All right. Thank you for that. Didn't even realize. Interesting. Good. 35 students.
I thought I saw the question.
I don't know what happened. Oh, I know what I did. I cropped it. I cropped it out. I missed it. Crop it out. That's what happened. It was there though. I just cropped it out by mistake. Alright, so good. So please send me this one, please. I think we're done with that section. That's what, 5 points. 5 points. 2, 4. Yeah, 5 points. 2, 4, 5. 2, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 points. Yep. All right, so let's go back to the probably unfamiliar. Let's see what's in this one. Who likes volume?
Yeah, it's like that.
Say it again.
I think it finished like that.
You didn't finish right what?
The first question.
The first question. Which one are you talking about? This one?
Yeah. No, saw.
Which one?
Go.
This?
Saw.
That one? This one?
Yeah, saw.
Okay, quickly write that down. So, we're dealing with volume. How many persons like volume? Volume question.
Okay, finish.
How about them? No one likes volume questions?
Please cut my behind.
It's got to be. Volume questions are nice. Anything we call them mensuration. Like they are nice questions. Area, volume, those are nice questions. Easy questions. Just
You don't run to school, like what?
say it again.
You don't run to school. We getting caught up with these now.
Hey, I had my days of them. But they're pretty easy though when you actually think about it. Pretty easy. So
Pass your math, you see?
yeah, of course, Miss Cooper.
Straight A's, you know, Mr. Petit.
Yeah,
Yes.
I got it in that. But the thing is, math was my strong point in high school, believe it or not. I mean, I did get an A in the Bgcse and the Bgcse, but I don't know. I just I just felt that when I got into university, then yes, I would say yes. I might understanding math was necessary. I felt that that's when I really understood it more and more. Okay, so we want cross section. So they say the area of the cross section. It's important to understand what we mean by cross section. Cross section is basically if you were to, so like say we have the shape, right? The cross section of the shape would be if you were to slice the shape right in the middle, right? If you were to slice the shape in the middle, what would be the shape or the figure that would appear on the knife? All right. What would it be?
The face, the front part.
The front part, which is a what?
Triangular.
With a triangle.
Right.
Good.
Triangular.
So the cross section. Let me just show you an other example of cross section, so you could get an understanding of what we mean by cross section. So let's say, so cross section of, let's say, a cylinder. If you want a cross section of cylinder, again, that's like if we were to cut it in. This is a very good example there. So you notice that. Okay, let's see. Good. This is good. So the cross section is when you slice the image in the middle. The shape that forms is the cross section. Okay, so here the cross section of a cylinder is a circle. And the thing is that, okay, so let's look at this. Here, it depends on where we do the cross section. But here, when we talking about the cross section right here, we're not talking about slanting it or whatever. We're talking about cutting it directly in half, parallel to the base. So here, the cross section of this cylinder would be a circle. Now, the thing about these things is that the cross section, somebody asked, well, why is the cross section important? Well, the cross section is very important because when we are trying to find the volume of something, the volume of a say a volume of a cylinder, right, a circular prism, is gonna be the area of, and this is for prisms in general, is gonna be the area of the cross section times the length, or we say the height. So, in order to find the volume of a prism, the first thing you need to know is its cross-sectional area, the area of the cross-section. Then you got to multiply it by the length or the height. That's why the cross-section is so important. So if we do the cross-section of, say, that was a triangular prism. If we do that, you would see that, because I think this is very perfect. It's perfect right up. What is the cross-section? If we were to cut it,
Triangle.
it's
Triangle.
It's a triangle, all right? So this is the cross-section. So the cross-section of the triangular prism is definitely a triangle. And so if we want the area of this triangular prism, we first must find what? The
Cross-section.
The area of the cross-section, then multiply it by the length or the height of this prism. Okay? That's the idea. And that's in general for, this is another one. Cross-sectional. This is, if we were to cut it here again, if we were to slice it in the middle, the cross-section would be a what? A triangle. Okay?
But if you come straight down the middle, like from the top.
No, we don't, that's a different type of cross-section. That's not the cross-section we're talking about. We're talking about the one where we just slice it in the middle. Alright? Okay, so let's go. Alright, so let's go back here. So they want here the area of the cross-section. And the cross-section is definitely a triangle. Now, what is the formula for area of triangle?
To cross section times length, right? Base times
triangle. Area of a triangle.
Base times height.
Base times height over 2.
Very good. Base times height over 2. So area of the cross section. We know the cross section is. A triangle, so we got to use the area of a triangle formula. Sorry.
Elizabeth, did I get the first question, please?
The first question. This is the first question. Yeah.
Oh.
Every time we're talking about prisms, in order to find the volume of a prism, you first must determine its cross-sectional area, then multiply it by the height or the length. So that's why they first making us find the area of the cross-section, because they trying to make us eventually figure out what is the volume of this thing.
So, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Would it be like the cross-section, right?
Mm-hmm.
Will they give us a hint by giving us like a dotted line, or they have it in a triangular?
You mean
You mean the dotted line?
No, the dotted line is not to indicate any slicing it.
Okay.
The dotted line is to indicate which one is the height of the triangle. All right, that's what the dotted line is. Because notice that they give you 3 measurements for the triangle. They give you 10 centimeters, 8 centimeters, and 14. Now, they're trying to tell you that, hey, don't use 10. 10 is not the height. The height is 8. That's what they're trying to tell you about this line. So the line doesn't have anything to do with the cross section. All right. Does that make sense, Mr. One, or you need to explain it again?
Kind of.
Kind of. What I'm saying is, the cross section, this dotted line cannot be indicating any cross section, because this dotted line goes directly cutting the triangle. The cross section would cut in the middle. You see what I'm saying? Like it would be like cutting, like I showed you in the pictures, right? So this vertical line is not an indication of cross section. It's just telling you what is the vertical height of this triangle. That's it. And you're gonna need that height to figure out what is what is the area of the triangle. Okay, so we need operations. Yeah. Basic math. We need multiplication time. So base times height divided by 2 because it is a triangle. So it's going to be equal to, what is the base of this triangle?
14.
14 centimeters.
Very good. The base is 14 because that's literally the bottom. Okay, that's the base of the triangle. 14 centimeters multiplied by, what's the height?
8.
8 centimeters.
8 centimeters.
And not 10. All right, so not 10. The height is 8. Don't let them fool you. That's why they have this line here. It's the the height is always perpendicular to the base. Right? It forms a right angle with the base. All right. So 8 centimeters all over 2. So what is what is 14 times 8?
112.
112.
14 times 8? What is that?
112.
112. Let's see. 14 times 8. 112. Very good. Divided by 2. Oh, 112 centimeter what?
Square? No.
Square.
Centimeter squared.
Centimeters square.
Yeah. Why? Because centimeters
Multiply the centimeters.
centimeters is going to be centimeters squared divided by 2. It's going to be equal to
56.
Is equal to 56.
Centimeters squared.
Okay. Divided by 2. Very good. 56 centimeters squared. Remember, area is always given in terms of units squared. All right. Please remember your formulas. Remember your formulas, please. Area of triangle, we should know this. Area of square, we should know this. Area of a rectangle, we should know this. Please remember your formulas. Okay, good. So we found out what is the area of the cross section. Next up, 20 more minutes before language.
Oh, that must have been deep.
No problem.
You timed me wrong this time.
Say it again.
You timed me wrong this time.
My time.
Hey, I get it.
I might push the time forward. You talking? Very good.
Yeah, we might put all the time on language.
Yeah, we might need that. That's true, you know. After this one, I think we just go to language because we can need all the time that we can get. Okay, volume of the prism. Can anyone tell me what is the volume of this triangular prism? Remember? Anyone can remember? We said it. Volume of any prism at that is what? Oh boy, do I be talking myself inside there? Like, we literally just gave the formula.
We need the area of the cross section.
Multiplied by what?
The height of the line.
The height of the line. Very good. Good. So and the good thing is that for this exam they give you the formula. Look, they tell you, they say, hey, look, this is what they literally give you. Hey, look, this is the cross section. This is the length. The volume of the prism. And then here they give you an oh my, they couldn't have given you more information. They say, hey, triangular prism, and they say the volume, speaking of our prisms, the volume is going to be the area of the cross section multiplied by what? The length, and sometimes that length is referred to as height as well. So it's going to be area of the cross section multiplied by the length. So every time we're talking about a prism, its volume is going to be, first you got to find what's the cross section, area of the cross section, and you're going to multiply that by the length. Okay, so.
Mr. Petit,
Yes, ma'am.
that can be on our exam too, right?
No, they don't give you no. They don't give you no. It's only for BGCSE. They give you the formulas. That's interesting.
Wow.
That's a serious question.
Wow.
Yeah,
So nice.
Y'all ain't get no formulas. And look at the area of the triangle, right? Half base times height, or base times height over 2. They give it to you.
It's so nice.
They nice.
So nice to them.
Yeah. They even get Pythagoras theorem.
Wow.
Wow.
They get too much now.
They even get. They even get SOHCAHTOA.
Hold on,
They
Miss
get the
Petit,
formulas.
please tell
Anything
your
else?
students that just because we get all them formulas, when you open up that paper, dog eat all of your lunch, okay? Because it can't help you. Please tell them that. It can't help you because you better design the question itself.
But at least for Bgcse, they don't give them no formulas, so they not only got the questions, they got to remember the formulas too. So
be grateful.
But it's the questions just come out simple now. You know, I don't come out technical. You just gotta brainstorm just to understand the question. You won't even get to the answer yet.
Well, I see both of y'all sides. Y'all should write a essay on that. That'll be a good. That'll be a good essay.
I got my reasons.
You got your reason. All right. Okay. Good. So volume. And Miss Cooper, guess what? They get to use calculators too.
I do. They got calculators. They got all the formulas.
They got formulas. What more do they want? They want the answers now?
They might tweak some answers in there.
One time.
Might still put the answer. Here we have area of cross section.
I'm gonna let them talk and wait until they get in grade 12.
Exactly.
That in the same boat.
They could be in the same boat. That's true. You know what? They could be on your side now. By the time they reach grade 12, they could be like, yeah, but did hard and everything. Right. So
times. Now, we don't think they need all of them stuff.
You don't think? Okay. All right. Okay. So we saw that the area of the cross section. We saw that, just recently. We saw that equal to what?
56 centimeters squared.
Very good. 56 centimeters squared. We saw that right here. 56 centimeters squared. And so, any answers for this before I actually do it? Anyone that actually did it and got any answers? No one? So we got 56. What is the length?
19.
19. The length of this is 19. So we're looking at this length here. Okay. It's 19 centimeters. And so what is 56 times 19? What is 56 times 19?
1,064.
1,064.
1,064.
Now it's going to be centimeters squared or what?
Yes, centimeters square.
No, sir.
Centimeters cube?
What do you mean?
Centimeters cube. We deal with volume.
Why not square?
Because remember, this is centimeters squared times centimeters. So 2 plus 1 is 3.
Okay.
Yeah. Remember, volume is always cube, units cube, and because it's three-dimensional. And an area is always centimeters squared. It's two-dimensional.
So something new here.
That's new?
I said that's something new I just heard.
You just heard that? No, don't come with that.
I serious.
How much times we did volume and I say this?
You said that before?
Yes, I always say that volume is units cubed and area is units squared.
I probably had too much, Massey.
That's probably. I've been singing that song. And when we did volume, I can show you. We did volume. Let me see. We did volume long time ago. That's like. Let's see. That was
That's a cylinder.
The volume is cylinder. Good. And when we did that.
Hate that.
Hate that. When we did that.
Well,
I heard you. Okay, let me see. We did the surface area for sure. We did I know we did the volume. Volume of the cylinder. Hell, we had to find out what was y. Okay. So the drain was okay. Good. When we did the volume. Okay, good. See there, centimeters cube. Remember, volume is always given in centimeters cube. So yeah, we did this. All right, so we covered a lot, man. This is we down in the 46 slides. Wow, it's crazy. All right, so good. So the volume is 1064 centimeters cube. Now that's the volume of the prism. Now let us figure out the last one, which is the surface area. The surface area of the prism. Now, for the surface area of the prism, we have to be very wise with this. The surface area just basically means find the area, all the sides, all the surfaces of this triangular prism. Once you find that, add them all up. Again, surface area basically means find the area of all the sides of the prism and then add them all up. And so we need to first consider the sides of this prism. You know, what does it consist of, and then add them, and then find the area of each side and then add them all up. So let's look carefully at this prism to figure out what sides we have and stuff like that. So first we have this. Let me make it, let me make it very pronounced. First we have and there's a formula for this, but you don't have to use the formula because you can think about it. First of all, we have this side, like this. What shape is this? This is what?
Rectangle.
A rectangle, right? So this is our rectangle. This is a rectangle. And so, how much rectangles do we actually have? We have one on this side.
3.
One on the other side.
One on the next side.
That is identical to this one. One at the top, right, and one at right there, right?
Yes, sir.
Good. All right, so that means we have. I just call them two rectangles.
Could we also say we have one underneath?
We do have one underneath, but it's not identical to it's not identical to this one. It has different dimensions. The one at the base is not the same size.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I try to figure. Let's call them two upper triangles. I mean, two upper rectangles. So two upper rectangles. I just saying upper because It's not the base. So it's two of them. So if we're trying to figure out what is the area of one of them, we know that area of a triangle is what? So area of a rectangle rather is what?
Length width.
Length times width. So we have to deal with this side. What's the length of this side?
19.
The length of this side. The length of this side.
11.3.
11.3, because the length of this side is the same length as this side.
I didn't even see that.
Yeah. So it's 11.3. That means that that we can't even use.
That's why I wouldn't add up to the same 10 point.
They would not. No, because this is 10. This 10 is referring to this. So.
But aren't they identical, you say, on both sides?
They supposed to be identical, so I'm trying to figure out
why would 10 be here and 10 won't be on the other side?
Yeah, it's a very good question. And then so if that's not the case, then that doesn't make sense for that one to be long. That won't make sense for that one to be longer. If then otherwise, what is the 11.34? Okay, let's look at the actual formula. So formula for surface area of triangular prism. See, we have. Okay, so they're saying that. So they call this one S2, and they call this one S3, and they call this one S1, and they call that one length.
So 9 times breadth times height. Base times height.
Okay, I think that, let me see.
West side has west side.
Okay, let's see. Here they say what is surface area of triangle prism. Triangle 1 is 4 times 3. And they say triangle 2 is 4 times 3. Where does the 5 come from? Oh, the 5 is, I see. Okay, so 4 times 8. 4 times 8. Four times 8. No, I don't get it. Let's look at this one. They're supposed to be identical. This is 7. This is 7. Yeah, we have to come back to that. Let's come back to this one. I have to think about it. I just don't understand why we have 11.3. I don't understand. Let's see what they say. The triangular cross section has sides 10, 11.3, and 14. Yeah, we're right. They're not equal. They're not identical. Alright, so we good. They're not identical. So that means that we wouldn't have two identical upper ones. So what we have to do is we have to figure out what is the length of this triangle on its, this rectangle on its own. Then we have to figure out for the other one that's on the other side, we have to figure out what is the length of that rectangle on its own. Because they don't have the same, these two sides are not going to be the same as 10. Alright? And so I'll let y'all do the homework because we're running out of time. I'm not going to be able to finish that before 8. So do this one for homework. Figure out what is the surface area for this one. The idea is that, here's the idea. The idea is that you first have to figure out what is the area of this rectangle, the rectangle in the back, the rectangle at the bottom, the triangle at the front, and the triangle at the back. And once you do that, sorry, let me actually draw it in so you actually see what the problem is. Like, what I'm saying is that if we continue this, if we continue this, right? It actually continues like so and like so. Sorry. And so there's a triangle in the back here that you need to figure out the area of. The triangle in the front here, you need to figure out the area of. Then you need to figure out the area of this rectangle at the back. Right? You need to find out the area of the rectangle in the front. And I need to figure out the area of the rectangle at the base. Then add them all up, and then that should be your surface area. Alright?
You could repeat how you do that?
Okay. Again, link. We want to find the area of this rectangle. This first one. The one in the back. And then the one at the bottom. The area of the triangle in the front. And the area of the triangle at the back.
I could wait till we do it in class.
Attempt it. And then add them all up. Okay, one thing but Miss Cooper, you don't like to do homework, boy.
I like to do homework, but like I need more explanation.
You need me to give you the answer to?
No, I need more.
I give you the formula. You could use your calculator. What more you want again?
I can't use calculator in exam.
Okay, this is another way to see it too. Like I said, you need to figure out the area for this rectangle, the one at the bottom, and then the two triangles on the side. Okay, so that's basically it. Let me say surface area. Basically take the shape and consider all the sides, add them all up, and then that'll be a surface area. Okay. All right. Any questions on the homework before we move on? Deshaun. All right. Now for the moment of truth. Yes, ma'am. All right, so we're moving on to English. Ah, boy, my favorite.
All right, good night.
Good night. To those who are not staying, have a wonderful night. And I'll see you on tomorrow. Okay, so let's pull this up. Oh, okay. See, no one did my homework again. I asked you all to pick out. I give you all some vocabulary words. Yeah, Miss Cooper, I saw it. No one does my homework. I don't understand. How does this work?
I see.
You just do it. You also get language homework. Did anyone say we sorry? Can't be say we sorry. Y'all had the whole weekend. Let me hear the excuse now, Miss Cooper.
Okay, so I be busy, like for real. I don't be joking. Like,
for real.
Yeah.
Like my coursework teacher stressing me out, and yeah.
Apology not accepted.
Okay, that's fine.
It's cool with it. That's fine. It literally takes 10 minutes to do this. Go on Google, take the words I give you, and write the definition. Gee, it's not that hard. But Mr. Petit, no rating, so I understand. Right, Miss Cooper?
Damn words didn't come from my mouth. I said I was busy. Like I can try this time for real. I can actually sit down and do
Please,
that.
please.
I
Right, Kennedy?
sent mine.
Who that is? Who says they sent hers? That's Miss.
Booty.
Oh wow, Miss Booty. You sent it on WhatsApp?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Miss Booty. Wow. When you're one student who actually look at that. Look at that. So look at that. Word definitions. Look at that. Why? Thank you, Miss Booty, for giving me hope that all is not lost. Domestic, relating to running a home. Unassuming, not pretentious. Arrogant, repose, a state of rest, sleep, or tranquility. And the rest goes on. Thank you so much. Very good definitions. All right.
Thank you.
Good. All right. So okay, good. All right. So okay, so let's get into the story. Okay. All right. So I want someone to give me a summary on what happened in passage 1 before we dive into passage 2. What happened in passage 1?
He's talking with the sphere of Oman and how the stuff we should do. And we didn't really get into the woman, but we was saying like the woman do more inside stuff or domestic stuff. Yeah.
So, okay, thank you so much, Ms. Cooper. Anyone else? A summary of what we did.
We were going over the characteristics of what a man should be, his traits and a woman's traits. They really know, like how they should, like act, respond. Yeah, basically the characteristics of a male and female.
Very good. We talked about the spheres, right? Let's see if we still have it.
Yes, like how a woman should be calm and loving and things like that.
Good.
Gracious and gentle.
Yes. So basically, the thesis of this Beecher's thesis is that there's two spheres. There's two spheres. You have the man sphere and you have the woman sphere. Now, the location wherein these individuals can exist, operate, exert their act upon their sphere is, for man, is in the public. So his sphere is the public. And for the woman, it's in the home. Now, for a man, in terms of what Beecher is saying, she's saying that a man, they could use force, they could challenge, they could debate, they could be combative, they could be strong, they could coerce, they could use force, even if a person is unwilling. They could debate, they could challenge, all them stuff. And yet, even if they do those things, they still exist, or they still work, or they still operate within their sphere. And then she said that a woman has her sphere, and her sphere is limited or restricted to only doing acts and only operating within using the principles of kindness, gentleness, calmness, peaceable, loving, caring. Only those things that she should use in order to achieve anything. And if she use conflict, if she become combative in any way, then she's operating outside of a sphere, and she is in the wrong. All right, so that was her thesis, and she's saying that if this is true, if it's true that there's a man's sphere, there's a woman's sphere, and they shouldn't overlap. Like a man shouldn't go over the woman's sphere, a woman shouldn't go over the man's sphere. She's saying that if this is true, then basically she's offering a rebuke or a chastisement or a a condemnation or a rebuke to the people who are trying to march against slavery, the women who are trying to form a union to publicly march against slavery. She's saying you cannot use those measures. You have to use more peaceable, loving, caring measures. Okay? All right. So that's a thesis. Anyone agree with the thesis before we move on?
In a way.
In a way? Okay, in a way.
Partially.
Partially. Okay. Partially. Okay. So let's go on to the next. I can't wait. Oh my goodness. Let's go on to the next passage. I want to see how she responds to this strong statement or the strong passage. Okay, so this is going to be Grimke's response to Beecher. And it states the following. The investigation of the rights of the slave has led me to a better understanding of my own. I have found the anti-slavery cause to be the high school of morals in our land, the school in which human rights are more fully investigated and better understood and taught than in any other. Here a great fundamental principle is uplifted and illuminated, and from this central light rays innumerable scream all around. They are so, they just so eloquent in what they're saying. Alright, human beings have rights because they are moral beings. The rights of all men grow out of their moral nature. And as all men have the same moral nature, they have essentially the same rights. These rights may be wrested from the slave, but they cannot be alienated. His title to himself is as perfect now as in that of Lyman Beecher. It is stamped on his moral being and is, like it, imperishable.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
How slavery get in this? When we talk about spheres of different women and man traits, how slavery get in this?
This is all a part of it, because she said, the reason why she's talking about the different spheres is that she's saying, if you remember the last part, she said that if these general principles are correct, they are opposed to the plan of arraying females in any abolition movement. She's specifically talking about how this group of people want to march around against slavery. Now, she is saying, no, the woman shouldn't do that. But this woman is saying, yes, the woman should do that. And she's given a reason why.
Okay.
Yeah. Good. Okay, human beings have rights because they are moral beings. The rights of all men grow out of their moral nature. And as all men have the same moral nature, they have essentially the same rights. These rights may be wrested from the slave, but they cannot be alienated. His title to himself is as perfect now as is that of Lyman Beecher. It is stamped on his moral being and is, like it, imperishable. Now, if rights are founded in the nature of our moral being, then the mere circumstance of sex does not give to a man higher rights and responsibilities than to woman. To suppose it does would be to deny the self-evident truth that the physical constitution is the mere instrument of the moral nature. To suppose it does would be to break up utterly the relations of the two natures and to reverse their functions. exalting the animal nature into a monarch and humbling the moral nature to a slave, making the former a proprietor and the latter its property. When human beings are regarded as moral beings, sex, instead of being enthroned upon the summit, administering rights and responsibilities, sinks into insignificance and nothingness. My doctrine then is that whatever is morally right for a man to do, it is morally right for a woman to do. Our duties originate not from difference of sex, but from the diversity of our relations in life. The various gifts and talents committed to our care, and the different eras in which we live. Wow. Okay, that was deep. Okay, so summarize what she just said. I need a summary from anyone. Don't be shy.
She was saying that men and women should be able to do the same thing, and only thing different is there's different sex, like one is male and one is female, but she feel or he feel like anything a male should do, a female should be able to do or should do.
Okay. I like that summary. Miss Cooper. Anyone else? What is her thesis? What is her main point? What's she trying to say? Don't be shy.
I don't know if this is based on my understanding. Probably could be off, but I just think that basically her was saying that all of us have the same rights. Like women shouldn't be limited to this, and even though she didn't mention it, I would assume that the same goes for men as well, and that all of them have the rights to do either one, and they don't have to be categorized by the way it was said in the first passage.
Okay. All right. My second question is, how many persons agree with the second part?
I agree and disagree. I don't think like women should be doing like them heavy work. So kind of, but not really.
Kind of, but not really. Okay. Anyone else agree with the second part?
I agree that we all human, right? And just because we're a different gender doesn't mean like anything. But there are like some things that you could keep off that what a man supposed to do only. Okay. Like some things you need to give that to off to the man. We ain't got to do everything. But I understand equality and all that. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I was partial again because I think that everyone should have a right to choose what they want to do and how they want to be, because not everyone is the same. The thing I may be into is not what Mr. Petit on the other side of the screen may be into. So I would just say that I'm partial with her too, because I think everyone should have the right to define who they want to be and who they should be, rather than being limited to the environment or being criticized because this is not acceptable in the environment, if you know what I mean.
I understand what you're saying. I want to hear from the men though. I've been hearing from the females. I want to hear from the men. Do you agree? Disagree? Why? Don't be shy. I have to start calling names. Let me see.
You can hear from you, Mr. Liddy.
I go right after them. Who is here?
Okay.
Aisha, Jaden, Jeremiah, one, especially one. Who else? Ricardo, Wayne. Come on, let's go.
I can't blame them because they might say some slip off and get everyone mad. So I can't blame them.
Jimmy, this is life. You gotta speak your mind. Can't be shy.
You got a point, yeah.
Let's go, Wayne. Let's go, Ricardo. Let's go, Lionel and his name is, oh, wasn't Jonathan, and the men are silent. Dylan, Deshaun, these people don't be silent.
Honey?
Deshaun, oh, Jonathan.
So,
Yes, Deshaun, let's go. Don't be shy, man. Come on, you in here. Don't let these women scare you like that.
what's that?
Don't let them scare you. Don't let them scare you.
Hey,
Go on.
I don't think like
Uh-huh.
all of us have the same rights because our women be slick when doing things that they shouldn't do,
Mm-hmm.
and then they expect us not to get mad.
Okay.
Like what? Don't make no sense.
Okay. All right. You spoke. Alright.
I agree anyway.
Okay.
Kinda.
Kinda. All right. Anyone else from the men's side? Okay, so I want to explain. Oh, I said I was gonna give my 2 cents on this. See, personally, um, I believe that um, men and women are equal. That's what I mean by that. I mean that um, both of them are human beings, so fundamentally they're equal, right? So I also believe that equal pay should be given for equal service. So, if I am your teacher and I get, say $1,000 for teaching you, and I'm a male, then if a female comes and do the same thing I do, then she shouldn't get 500, and if I get 1,000, you understand what I'm saying? So I believe in equal pay for the same work done. I believe that we should look at qualifications and ability rather than gender a lot of times. So if we're looking at hiring someone, or if we're looking at someone to do a job, um, and both are qualified, and we look to see who is more qualified than other, who has more experience, who's not. Just because it's, I don't think gender should be an issue um excessively talked about like that. If it's a male who's more qualified, then let the male do it. If a woman who's more qualified, then let the woman do it. Obviously, there's certain cases where you would want, like for example, for security, like you would want a man being the security as opposed to a woman, because for obvious reasons. Um, but when cases where it's not that clear, then I think that equality should reign. But I also think that sometimes we get confused. Like equal doesn't mean um like you two persons could be equal but not have the same roles. Right? If that makes any sense. Like for example, um for some of you who live in the home with your parents, right? Um you are human and they are human, correct?
Yes.
Good. So you and them are equal in the sense that y'all are human. We agree?
Yes, sir.
Good. But if Kennedy's daddy tell Kennedy, sorry, if Kennedy daddy tell Kennedy, yeah, I said it right. If Kennedy daddy tell Kennedy, Kennedy, wash the dishes. What do you think Kennedy can say? Oh, we equal. Why are you telling me what to do? You think she can say that?
But you see, but sometimes why you calling me to wash the dishes when you could like just do it?
Oh, go ahead, tell your mommy that. Why won't you tell her that right
No,
now?
I ain't gonna tell her that. I ain't gonna tell her that.
Exactly.
But like just
No, go ahead, please.
you wouldn't see
Exactly.
no more me
You
no
wouldn't
more.
dare, right? So you could be equal but have different roles, right? So it's the same thing, right? Um, when it comes to men and women, like just because we're equal, that doesn't mean that my role should be your role, and your role should be mine. You understand? So, and just because you do a particular role, that doesn't make you less than. And just because I do a particular role doesn't mean that I am greater than. Right? So, equal but different roles, yes. Because nature itself tells us that, right? Who is the only creature that could, you know, that could carry a baby for 9 months and then deliver it? Only females. I'm talking about human race. So clearly we have different roles. So nature tells us that we have different roles, right? But just because we have different roles, that doesn't mean that we're not equal. Same thing with me and the prime minister. Like, he's a man, I'm a man. But so we're equal in the sense that we're men. But if I tell you pull on the side of the road, you wouldn't listen to me. Let a police officer or the prime minister tell you to do that, which you'll do.
Pull on the side of the
Pull on the
road.
side of the road, right? Exactly. So we're equal, but we have different roles. His role is governing the country. The policeman role is governing, society and stuff like that. So we're both equal, but we just have different roles. That doesn't make them greater than me. It just means that we just have different roles. So that's my 2 cents on the model. Now what she makes a heavy point. She is saying that, hey, the rights that we have, this is her thesis. She's saying that her thesis is, let me hit a thesis. She said, she already said it. My doctrine then is whatever is morally right for a man to do is morally right for a woman to do. This is a thesis, right up, a main point. And she says that the reason why I believe that whatever is right for a man to do is right for a woman to do is because our rights does not come from our gender. Our rights come from us being human. She makes a heavy argument there. She's saying, I believe whatever is right for a woman to do is morally right for a man to do because our rights does not come from our gender. Our rights come from being human. And since our rights come from being human, both man and woman is human, so they should have the same rights. That's her thesis. It's a strong one. And so that's what she's basically saying. Okay. Both strong arguments. Which one you like the better, the first one or the second one?
The second one.
First one.
No, I like the first one.
The first one? Why?
Understand it more.
Because the man doing all them, they're more hard, or should I say, I don't know, whatever, that kind of work, and the woman just doing more like easier.
Okay. So she makes the woman work easy in the first part.
The second one makes sense as well, but like the first one more, I understand it more than the second one.
Okay. All right. Okay, good. So let's get into the questions. Anyone else want to give any 2 cents before we dive into the questions? No?
I think it's more the most informative piece that we read, in my opinion.
Okay. All right. Say informative, not the informative now. All right. Yeah, this is very deep. Very, very deep. I like it. I wish we had time to explain everything. I mean, we don't have time to explain every line, but this is, if you have ever have the time to do so, man, this is loaded. These stuff are loaded, man. Here is a great fundamental principle. Here a great fundamental principle is uplifted and illuminated, and from this central light, rays innumerable stream all around. I mean, that is writing right there at its best, right there. Oh my, very good, very good. They just don't say stuff. It's like they creating something. It's like they designing something. Like they painting. Like they writing some poetry or something. And that's how the people used to write in the 1800s, and I wish we could get that back nowadays. But they just
But make it more understandable. Yeah.
they just write with so much, like you could feel their heart and soul in what they wrote. It's like they really believed it. And so that's a very important thing. All right, 11. And they really was very logical in what they saying. Like both of them, like even if you don't agree with what they saying, you could definitely understand what they said. And you could definitely understand the reason why they said what they said. So I definitely appreciate both pieces. I mean, passage one, they gave more of passage one. Passage two, I felt was too short. They should have given more. But even though it was short, it was just succinct. I wish we had more of passage two so I could also understand more of what she's saying, but it's okay. Okay, in passage one, Beecher makes which point about the status of women relative to men? Is it A, women depend on men for their safety and security, but men are largely independent of women? Is it B, women are inferior to men, but women play a role as significant as that played by men? Women have fewer rights than men do, but women also have fewer responsibilities. Women are superior to men, but tradition requires women to obey men. Which one is the truth? Which one is it A, B, C, or D?
A.
A?
C.
C?
B.
I pick B.
You pick B? So you think that passage one is saying that women are inferior to men? That's what you're saying?
That's all.
I think
C.
you think C. All right, the best thing for us to do is let's go to line 6. All right, let's go to line 6. 6 to 10. It says here, she says here, listen carefully now. She says, but while women holds a subordinate. What is subordinate? What does subordinate means? What is subordinate? But while women holds a subordinate. Say it again.
Helping.
Close. Subordinate. Subordinate means like it gives the idea that one is higher than the other. You understand? So
Talking about ranks.
exactly. So subordinate. Let's look at a little definition. Subordinate. Good. So subordinate means by definition low in rank and position, a person under the authority or control of another. All right. So or to treat of to treat or regard as lesser importance than someone else. This is a very good one. So she's saying that, but while women hold a subordinate relation in society to the other gender, right? So she's saying that in society, it is seen that women are lower than men. That's what she's saying. But she said that it is not because it was designed that her duties or her influence should be what? Any less what? Important. So she's making the point that hey, women are what? Seen as inferior or lower, but they play a role in society that's what? That's very important.
Ah, yes, that's right.
So it's B.
One.
It's B.
Yes.
All right. All right, so let's move on to question number 12.
I finished.
You're not done? Okay. Okay. Next up. Which choice provides the best evidence for the answer to the previous question? We just saw it, right? We went to line what? 6, yeah. From 6 to 10. From 6 to 10. That really helped us for that. So it's going to be A. All right, number 13. In passage 1, Beecher...
You could go back, please.
No problem.
Okay.
Okay, good. In passage 1, Beecher implies that women's effect on public is largely... Again, in passage 1, Beecher implies that women's effect on public life, is largely... Is it overlooked? Because few men are interested in women's thoughts about politics. Is it indirect? Because women exert their influence within the home and family. Is it unnecessary? Because men are able to govern themselves in society. Or is it symbolic? Because women tend to be more idealistic about politics than men are.
B.
B? Anyone else?
I have option or B or D, so.
Say it again?
I said option or a B or D, so it's all over again. That's all.
Okay. Number 13 is definitely B. Because it's B because she's saying that, okay, it says Beecher implies that women's effect on public life is what? Indirect. Because remember, she's talking about how women should be what? In the home and in the family life. So when they exert an influence in society, you'd be like, how could they exert an influence on society? Well, they do it. Her thesis, Beecher's thesis, or her main idea is saying, hey, they can fight the battles. They can have an impact on society, but their impact on society is going to be within the domestic realm, within the home circle. And so it's going to be indirect. It's not going to be direct as, say, a man in politics, because, politics is very direct. But it's going to be indirect in the sense that, hey, they are going to shape the hearts and minds of the nation. So that is B. It's going to be indirect. Okay. Number 14. Using line 2, station most nearly means, is it A, region, B, studio, C, district, or D, rank?
Line 2, please.
Exactly. Let's go to line 2. It's number 14. Line 2. So, heaven has appointed to one gender the superior and to the other the subordinate station.
I know the answer.
Heaven has appointed to one gender the superior and to the other the subordinate station. Is it the subordinate region, studio, district, or rank?
D.
Definitely D, rank.
D.
She's saying that one is higher, one is lower. Okay, number 15.
I finished this.
Finish? Okay.
Okay, I got it.
Okay. As used in line 12, peculiar most nearly means eccentric, surprising, distinctive, or infrequent. Again, as used in line 12, peculiar most nearly means eccentric, surprising, distinctive, or infrequent. So let's go to line 12. So this is 10, 11, and 12. It says, but it was designed that the mode of gaining influence and of exercising power should be altogether different and peculiar. All right. Speaking about the influence of a woman, she is saying it was designed that her method of gaining an influence and her method of exercising power should be altogether different and peculiar. Is that eccentric, surprising, distinctive, or infrequent? Anyone?
C.
C is correct. Distinctive. So when we say distinctive, what does that mean? What's another word for distinctive?
Being able to tell the difference.
Being able to tell the difference, yeah. Distinctive means, in a sense, it means unique. All right.
Different, like.
Yeah, different. That's the word. It's more different. So she's saying that even though the woman exercised power in the home, that influence or that power is gonna be different and peculiar, unique to her. You know what I mean? Yes. All right. So number 16. All right. What is what is Bgcse? Now Bgcse is the first passage or the second passage?
Second.
The second. What is Bgcse's central claim in passage 2? Is it that the rights of individuals are not determined by race or gender? Men and women must learn to work together to improve society. Moral rights are the most important distinction between human beings and animals. Men and women should have equal opportunities to flourish.
We gotta find that.
A.
Passage 2.
You gotta find the passage.
No, we already know passage 2. We just have to make a summary of it. Like, what is she really saying? What was her main idea? We talked about it earlier.
It's either A or D.
Yes, or
D.
Is it A or D?
I think it's A.
I think it's D.
I think it's D.
D.
D. Anyone else? Let's go up here, and we did underline it. My doctrine then is this: whatever is morally right for man to do is morally right for woman to do. So what she is saying that what? The rights of
the rights of men and women
are not determined by what? Race
or
gender.
age.
Specifically, but then I said A, right? But then D also sound right because it says men and women should have equal opportunities. So like they try to say that they should like be able to like take turns doing the same thing.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. A, the closest one was A or D for real. I would say that, but A is more right because she's talking about rights. Okay, So that was a real big word in her essay. She really talked about the rights. She mentioned rights like 102 times. Like, whatever is morally right is morally right. You see what I'm saying? Like, and um, so the answer is definitely A. Okay. Okay, so we have what, 2 more to go? What, 3 more to go? What, 4 more? 5? We have a lot more to go. I realize that.
Oh,
Number 17. I really want to finish this tonight, though. We have to finish this. All right. In passage 2, Grimke's makes which point about human rights? Is it A? They are viewed differently in various cultures around the world. They retain their moral authority regardless of whether they are recognized by law. They are sometimes at odds with moral responsibilities. They have become more advanced and refined throughout history. What is her view regarding human rights?
I think C.
Thanks, C.
Yeah.
They are sometimes at odds with moral responsibilities.
hey.
It's either or A or C, one of them.
I feel like B.
You feel like B? Okay, let's go to line 61. So it's line 61. So let me read it. Line 61. She says that these rights, speaking about human rights, right? These rights may be wrested. I like this word. What does it mean for something to be wrested? These rights may be wrested from a slave. What do you mean by wrested in this passage?
Not allowed.
Not allowed. Also removed. Right? Taken away from.
Like free from being a slave.
Right? So she's saying that you could remove it. You could try. At least you could attempt to remove it. Let's look at the word wrested. Wrested. That's forcibly pull, right? I like that. You could snatch it, seize it, grab it, take by force, right? So she's saying that, hey, these rights, human rights, may be wrested from the slave. She's talking, I mean, you can't literally take it away, but she's talking about, figuratively speaking, like a person may try to take these rights away from the slave by what? Forcing them to work long hours, taking away their freedom, torture, whatever. But you say, but they cannot be what? Alienated, right? You may snatch it away, but you think you do it forever? No, it's still there. His title to himself is as perfect now as is that of Lyman Beecher. It is stamped on his moral being and is, like it, imperishable. Imperishable. If something's imperishable, what does that mean?
It cannot rust away.
It cannot rust away. It cannot. It doesn't change. Like it's gonna continue. So it's gonna continue. Now, remember, she's talking about this in a time where slavery is like according to law, it's okay to enslave people. Now that's against human rights. But she's talking about, but she's advocating that hey, they should be free. She's saying that even though the law of the land maintain that hey, slavery is okay, the moral right still holds weight regardless whether or not society's law agree with it. So the correct answer is B. The rights, the human rights, they retain, they hold, they keep their moral authority regardless of whether they are recognized by law. So even though she lived in a time where slavery was recognized as okay, she's still saying that, hey, it don't matter what way y'all say if it's okay or not. It still is true that human beings still have their rights to be free. whether or not y'all agree by law for it to be so. You understand that?
You could repeat that one more time, please.
Okay. The reason why it's B is because she says that human rights, they retain or they keep their moral authority regardless of whether they are recognized by law. So she's saying that even if society were to say that, hey, slavery is okay and take away the freedom from the slave, their moral right to freedom is still binding. It still holds, regardless of whether society's laws agree with it.
I was right.
Okay.
So it is B.
Okay.
Very good, Kennedy. So which line, which choice? Oh yeah, you did say that, Ms. Cooper. Which choice provides the best evidence for the answer to the previous question? We saw that earlier. That was what? Line 61 to 65.
Line 61 to 65.
Yeah. Okay. Moving right along.
Okay.
Which choice best states the relationship between the two passages? Is it that A, passage 2 illustrates the practical duties of a proposal made in passage 1? Passage 2 takes issue with the primary argument of passage 1. Passage 2 provides a historical context for the perspective offered in passage 1. Passage 2 elaborates upon several ideas implied in passage 1.
C.
Anyone else? Okay, let me give you all a hint. Does passage 1 and passage 2, do they agree with each other?
Yes.
How?
No, they don't. B?
How do they, someone said they agree. How do they agree?
Is it a contrast?
It is a contrast. Like, passage 1 is saying man and woman have their own sphere. And they have different roles. One is inferior to the other one. Passage 2 is saying, no. They are equal. They have the same rights. Don't put woman in one sphere and man in one sphere. So they are opposing. So one is in contrast to the other. One is passage 1. Passage 2 is a response to passage 1, like saying, hey, we don't agree. So the correct answer is B. Passage 2 takes issue with the primary argument.
Yes.
Okay, so it is B. All right, number 20.
I wasn't finished reading that.
Oh, you should finish. Okay. Based on both passages, both authors would agree with which of the following claims? Based on passages, both authors would agree with which of the following claims? That women have moral duties and responsibilities. Men often work selflessly for political change. The ethical obligations of women are often undervalued. Political activism is as important for women as it is for men.
C.
This is number 20. Anyone else?
D.
How you can say D, Miss Cooper? Political activism is important for women as it is for men?
B.
You say B. Say D or B.
B.
Men who often work selflessly for political change.
C.
No. If we look, if
Oh,
we look
C make
clearly,
more sense.
she said that what? She said that when it comes to men working, she says what? Um, a man may act on society by what? Collision of intellect. In public debate, he may urge his measures by a sense of what? Shame, fear, and personal interest. She ain't saying he trying to be
C.
kind and whatever. He's saying that he doing whatever he got to do to achieve his goal. So he's not necessarily kind or
C.
or or what's the word I want to use? Or selfless. He's not selfless. The correct answer is either A or C. Okay, it's either A or C. Both of them would agree that women have moral duties and responsibilities. None of them disagree with that. Passage 1 is saying yes, women do have a moral responsibility and duties, but her duties are in the home and in the home circle. Passage 2 is saying, hey, women do have moral duties and responsibilities, but that's wherever she chooses to go. So both of them does agree with that. So the correct answer is B. But someone said, but I understand why you say C, because C is very close to. The ethical obligations of women are often undervalued. That's true, because both passages mention that, that hey, women, um, their worth is undervalued for real. So I can understand why you say C, but A is the best answer.
At least I tried.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know from the first time I saw that.
Say it again.
I said the first time I saw that answer, I already know the answer.
Oh, okay. Now, 21. Last but by no means least. Now, Beecher would most likely Beecher would most likely have reacted to lines 65 and 68 of passage 2 with the following. So let's read 65 and 6 to 68. And see. 65 to 68. Now, if rights are founded in the nature of our moral being, then the mere circumstance of sex does not give to a man higher rights and responsibilities than that of women. So this is what 65, 66, 67, 68. Again, now if rights are founded in the nature of our moral being, then the mere circumstance of sex does not give to a man higher rights and responsibilities than to a woman. So how would the other person respond? Sorry, my bad. To this part right here.
Can I see the responses?
So let's go back. Would she say? Would it be a response of sympathy, because she feels that human beings owe each other a debt to work together in the world? Would it be a sense of agreement, because she feels that human responsibilities are a natural product of human rights? Would it be dismay, because she feels that women actually have a more difficult role to play in society than men do? Or would it be D, disagreement, because she feels that the natures of men and women are fundamentally different?
D.
D.
D, definitely.
D.
Disagreement. All right. That's bringing us to the end of our time together. Please send me the notes for math and also the notes for language. And I'll see you on tomorrow at 6 p.m. God's spell. So have a wonderful one and take care.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
That's
I
the D.
Yes, sir.
You're gonna get me right.
Can we do it tomorrow?
All right now. Same time, right?
Right after class.
Only mass tomorrow though.
Yeah.
Mass in other classes.
Yeah, I know. If you come after, we could do it.
All right.
Yeah.
Could you go back to the question and answers, please?
No, I can't.
Okay.
Nancy say, okay.
I was my
Say it again?
green hidden like just sitting on top of my head. I just have this mic.